I wanted to preface this video with a discussion of Jessica's antisocial personality diagnosis, because once you understand this personality disorder, everything makes sense. The signs are clear as day. I had previously found myself disappointed in Jessica's behavior and confused about her reactions and response to everything going on. I found myself wondering why she lies, refuses to take accountability, and never shows genuine remorse for her actions. I stopped wondering when I visited her diagnosis and realized all of the above is consistent with antisocial personality disorder. As you watch these clips, keep this diagnosis in mind. Each clip will be labeled one of three categories. 1. Statement, a clip making one or more claims. 2. A contradiction/irony, a clip contradicting and or exposing the irony of said claims. 3. Insight, a clip providing insightful information. Each set of clips will be labeled with one or more symptoms of antisocial personality disorder per criterion A of the DSM-5. The label is simply my opinion of which symptom or behavior falls with it. Each clip includes a label of deceitful, because y'all know that girl stays lying.
Why did I delete my video on ASPD? That is because I was misdiagnosed with ASPD, which is a really common thing that inmates get diagnosed with. And if you don't know, ASPD is antisocial personality disorder. Do you think you may have been misdiagnosed? No, I think that was a very easy diagnosis, and I think that it was an accurate diagnosis. It makes sense that I was slapped with that label, but then over time and the more research that I did, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I literally took that diagnosis, shoved it in a drawer, didn't think about it, didn't care about it. It didn't even cross my mind, especially when I was first home. So I didn't think about that. It wasn't top priority. I've studied ASPD so much over the course of 4 years just to understand myself better. And any opportunity I had to write a paper on ASPD, I did so. So yeah, that diagnosis is wrong. That diagnosis is wrong. Do I feel like this is true to me? Do I feel like this diagnosis is accurate? Yes, I do.
She spends her entire video discussing her symptoms and doubling down on why she believes her antisocial personality disorder diagnosis is accurate.
I do have empathy, but then again, that's where we go to late onset ASPD, and I was able to kind of rethink things and just kind of have a better understanding of who I am, who I want to be, and my children were a big part of empathy.
Conduct disorder symptoms must have been present before the age of 15. So just as is the case with all personality disorders, there's no such thing as late onset antisocial personality disorder.
Antisocial personality disorder is actually quite dangerous. It can be quite dangerous.
What would you call it?
I would call it psychopathic personality disorder.
Yes.
That's what I would term it. And antisocial personality disorder is a pattern whereby a person not only lacks empathy, but they think the rules do not apply to them. They do not adhere to them. They break moral codes, social codes, legal codes. They have a failure to take any kind of responsibility. They're very deceitful. They exploit other people to achieve their ends. They will take risks that will put other people in danger. So they're dangerous. They're dangerous. And here's the ringer. Here's the ringer. I personally think that to really call it antisocial personality disorder, you're talking about someone who lacks remorse for the bad things they do, and that's where it gets scary.
Can they fake it?
That's where it gets scary. I'm sorry?
Can they fake it?
Can a person fake,
remorse?
They fake remorse? Oh, absolutely. You can fake anything. You can fake empathy, you can fake remorse, you can fake anything, and they do. They will, when they're finally hauled in front of the press conference, they'll cry crocodile tears, and a year later they'll do it again. That's antisocial personality disorder.
And when I started selling drugs, I did it because I didn't want to be poor. I just didn't want to be poor. I started to sell drugs very quickly. Wow. Because I'm poor. And I just didn't want to be poor. I thought, man, I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be starving. So why did I start? I started selling drugs for 2 reasons. I wanted 2 things minimum that I didn't have growing up: money and control. I learned at a very young age that if you have money, you have power. You have power, you have control. You have control, you can make people do whatever you want. And that's who I was. At the core of my being, I wanted 100% to be in control of every single thing in my life. Me, my friends, my family, everything. I didn't want anyone to tell me what I was going to do. And that obviously created a lot of problems for me. So I would take this part of my jeans and I would cut the inside seam right here, and I would slide the wax bags in here. So yeah, I also had taken it into the jail, and I was trying to wean myself off, but I didn't do it the right way, and I ended up going through detox in the county jail, and it was really, really painful and rough. Okay, never have I ever brought in drugs. I haven't, but I've gotten drugs while I was already in jail or prison.
Yeah, I did. It was a complete accident. What happened
was basically destroying my hometown. I might say that I was on top of the world, but I knew it was ill-gotten gain, if that makes sense. And I knew I was a shitty person. You know, I was selling a very deadly, very harmful drug that people were overdosing from. And I felt like a monster. Yeah, I made a lot of money, but I felt horrible about myself. I hated myself. At the end, not at the beginning. At the beginning, I didn't care. But at the end, and I truly started to see how evil I was and how horrible I was and how this was destroying lives and destroying me, I hated it. I really did. People tell me all the time on this app that I need to talk about the victims of my crimes and be remorseful for the crimes that I committed that landed me in prison because of the victims of my crimes. And I see it all the time, almost every single day across all of my platforms on the internet. So let's talk about that. Now, other than my assault charge, which I was jumped and just happened to come out on top and it was totally bullshit, no one has ever been listed in my paperwork as a victim other than that one time. So what people are talking about here is that I was a drug dealer. So people just believe that selling drugs, you have all these victims because you're selling drugs to people, right? So that's really between you and God. I don't know.
My intentions are to expose her contradictions and deceit. However, I believe her here in this particular clip. She has no remorse for the lives she destroyed, and she does not believe she has victims.
Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of women downplay or try to justify abuse. I know a lot of people keep saying, oh, we're not questioning the abuse. She was abused, but she was an abuser too. That's not accurate. Real love is not the fighting and the drama and the bickering and the craziness that I dealt with, the mental abuse, the physical abuse, mostly from me. I mean, I would hit him and act crazy. The only time I would ever hurt someone is if my life is in danger or my child's life is in danger. You guys, I freaking heard kissing sounds coming from the freaking hallway. I ran to the door and I slammed that door open and I'm coming down the hallway. I see my ex and his ex and I lose my shit. Now my ex is already like, whoa, like he's trying to stop me, but there is no stopping me. There is no calming me down. So I hit my ex in the side of the head. And he moved a little bit, just enough for me to get his ex by the hair. I pushed this door open and I threw her down. I'm yelling at him. People are starting to come out because there's, I think, 4 apartments in this building. People are coming out. They're like, yo, Jess, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. And I immediately, they're thinking, you know, my ex maybe put hands on me or did something, which he didn't. It was all me. I threw the first punch, which I always did. And thankfully no one in this apartment building called the cops because they're like, oh, she can handle herself, it's fine. No one thought that I was at risk. Mid me screaming, I think I punched a wall and he walked back into the apartment and I'm guessing he wanted to do that so that I would get out of the freaking hallway.
No, seriously. Imagine Reece did this to Jessica and uploaded a video recounting the story in this exact manner, bragging about how he always throws the first punch with this nonchalant tone of I don't give a fuck. Jessica would be exploiting the living hell out of it, and the ride or die crew would be up in arms, all rushing to console poor Jessica and hold Reece accountable. The hypocrisy is gross.
Somehow he convinces me to calm down, you know, and we go back to sleep. Okay. Like I literally didn't leave. I don't know why, but there was also this dynamic of I have to win. I have to win and you can't have him and he's mine and it's about winning. Like what? I thought if some other woman had him, I lost and she won and I wanted my ex so bad. I was willing to overlook all kinds of shit. Narcissists are very charming, intelligent, not emotionally intelligent, but intelligent. They're funny. They're charismatic. They'll do all these kind things for other people. They'll help you out. They'll appear strong and maybe alpha and tough, but like great guy, right? Or girl, great person all around, the whole package. They seem perfect. I was dealing with someone that was a covert narcissist and I didn't even fucking see it. The control that he had over my life was crazy. Well, I didn't think it was controlling, where he was like, you don't have to work, I'll do this. Slowly but surely, I lost my independence. I wasn't working. I was going back to school and getting my degree with absolutely no help from him with the kids. But my independence was slowly taken away. And right now I'm dealing with a narcissist, I believe, that is upset that they lost that control over me, upset that I bought this house, upset that I bought my own phone and my own phone plan. And these are things I thought I couldn't do because my credit score was really bad, I'm a felon, like all that shit. I didn't work on it, like repairing my credit for a long time because he slowly chipped away at my independence and I didn't even think about it, honestly. The control was very covert. I basically paid for his entire lifestyle. Everything from the shoes on his feet to the apartment that he was living in. I paid for all of it. The weed that he smoked, the drugs that he did, the clothes that he wore, the cigarettes he was smoking. I paid for all of it. And I didn't do that out of the kindness of my heart. I mean, I did care for him, but it was also a means of control. And I was just such a shitty person. I knew that he would always come back to me no matter what happened, because he didn't really have anywhere else to go. He didn't have anyone to help him. He could never get a job because he was a felon. It was a very dark time in my life. It's important to note here that that video recording only starts when Johnny is upset, when Johnny is assaulting cabinets like he said. You know, that is when it starts. Because Amber knows that she's recording, she's like, what's wrong? It's okay, everything's fine. Her tone and demeanor changed once she was able to get a reaction out of Johnny.
This clip is from Jessica's video titled I've Been Silent Until Now. The clip starts when Reece is already angry, already yelling at Jessica. I'm not saying Reece isn't abusing her. In fact, I believe he is abusing her. I'm simply pointing out that Jessica's guilty of the same thing as Amber Heard, the woman she's accusing of lying about being abused. This isn't the only time Jessica mirrors Amber Heard's actions.
You can tell in so many instances where Amber is intentionally doing things, her body is out of sync with her story, and there are very obvious moments where she's talking about violence, where it's completely a lie to me. So when Amber is talking about being grabbed by the hair, if you, I'm not smiling because that's something that's funny, I'm smiling because it's like, duh, I see you. If you're talking about being grabbed by the hair, you would go like this, like he grabbed me by the hair. What Amber does, she goes, he grabbed me by the hair. That's a motion that, like, if I grab you by the hair and I go to tell someone I grabbed her by the hair, that's the motion that my body would naturally do in sync with my story, right? When Amber says that, she goes, he grabbed me by the hair. The reason why she does that instead of this, to me, is because I guarantee you she has pulled Johnny's hair. She has grabbed him, because if he grabbed her, she would have been doing a different motion. He grabbed me by the arm, he grabbed me by the hair. Not he grabbed me. This is I did this motion, not it was done to me motion. And I went upstairs, I was changing at one point, and I was naked. All I had on was underwear, and he took like he set me down and slammed my head against the wall in the bathroom. So I know you guys have seen my bathroom, there's like 2 mirrors and a space in between that on the counter. So I'm sitting there, he slammed my head against the wall, it choked me. You would go like this, like he grabbed me by the hair. She goes, he grabbed me by the hair. Slammed my head against the wall. Because if he grabbed her, she would have been doing a different motion. He grabbed me by the arm, he grabbed me by the hair, not he grabbed me. So I'm sitting there, he slammed my head against the wall. When Amber is talking about being grabbed by the hair, if you, I'm not smiling because that's something that's funny, I'm smiling because it's like, duh, I see you. Her body is out of sync with her story, and there are very obvious moments where she's talking about violence, where it's completely a lie to me. So the reason why she does that instead of this, to me, is because I guarantee you she has pulled Johnny's hair.
So for Jessica's body language theory, her own body language shows that she is not in sync with her story. It's completely a lie. She guarantees you she slammed Reece's head against the wall, and she's laughing because, duh, she sees herself. Come the fuck on. This is obviously fucking ridiculous. But instead of expanding on my opinion of her making these claims, I'll let Jessica tell you just how repulsive her own behavior is, in her own hypocritical ass words.
You don't know what is going on behind the scenes currently. You don't know what was being done to me at the beginning of this year before I released those videos. You have no idea what they were doing to me behind the scenes then. You don't know. You don't know what is going on. I am not perfect, but you don't know me. And just because I have not acted the way you think that I should as a victim of domestic violence doesn't mean I wasn't abused.
Ain't that some shit?
If someone tells you that they're experiencing narcissistic abuse, believe them. If someone tells you that someone hurt them, their partner hurt them, emotionally, physically, or financially, believe them. I don't think that he has ever hit Amber. I think that was a lie. They have shared paperwork from when I was a child. That's my daughter's birth certificate. If you just come to my page and just genuinely, in a respectful manner, ask me a question about any fucking thing, like literally anything, that's not what today's video is about. That's fine. That's totally fine. Also, you can be the abuser and the victim in a relationship. You can both be toxic. You can both have issues. You can both be the abuser and both be the victim. And one person might meet someone and might be so fucking triggered and so chaotic and so crazy that they're both that toxic person. And I don't know if that gets talked about enough. A lot of people think that only one person in a relationship can be the abuser. That's not true. These two people can individually, like if that was the case, then these two people can individually have successful relationships outside of that and be okay. Not quiet behind the scenes. Mutual abuse is not real. There's abuse and then there is reactive abuse. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way in this relationship, a lot of them that I'm going to talk about in my next episode. And I want to put it in this video to hold myself accountable, but I want to talk about cheating in this relationship. And I want to talk about how dark it got and how I'm grateful to survive the emotional pain that I've gone through. It's going to be a really tough video. It's going to be a really honest video. It's going to be an embarrassing video. I'm embarrassed by what I've done, what has been done to me. You cheated on him since 2015. Okay. Did I, Laura? Were you there? She'll never address it. I will address it when and if I fucking choose to, in the way that I choose to, if I decide to do it on my timeline at my own pace. And I would rather y'all think whatever the fuck you want. And, you know, I will address my fucking sex life when and if I choose to. Past, current, present, whatever, past or present. I will share that when and if I choose to. And it's very weird to me that people are like obsessed with my fucking sex life. No, it's not messy and confusing. You did it and that's it. Again, were you fucking there? No, you were not. You were not there. But yeah, so I will share that when and if I choose to. I'm not deflecting. It is just very weird to me that people are so aggressively in my face about my sex life. But yeah, I effing hate people that hurt children. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the details because I don't want to get it wrong, but it's his story to share. He was honest about what he did. He received probation, completed probation, and he's been in therapy for years now. The child abuse charge was reduced to a domestic. None of that is okay. Unfortunately, a lot of us were raised with parents that thought that physical discipline was the way to discipline us. I don't believe in that. I believe in gentle parenting. He now believes in gentle parenting, which is the best outcome. I think when adults do implement spanking in their home, they use kind of cutesy words to skirt around the fact that they're hitting a child. Like they might use the word pop, pow-pows, or even slap. While pop and pow-pow are cutesy words that you might use, you're hitting a child, and that can cause lasting issues in your child. He used physical discipline, like spanking, slapping, swatting, pow-pows, whatever word you want to use. He used that to discipline his kids. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the details because I don't want to get it wrong, but it's his story to share. Started this channel, I used to talk about blessing bags, I used to call them. So I used to put hygiene stuff and socks and food, dog food, cat food, human food, tampons, all that stuff in bags, like the gallon Ziploc bags, and I would hand them out when I would see people. Now I hand out Narcan and test strips, and I still do the blessing bags. But that's something I do in my personal life. Which, by the way, I'm getting pretty freaking good at couponing, which helps a lot. But that's something that I do in my personal life and I don't share it online. The reason why I don't share that online is because when I first started sharing it, someone was really quick to tell me that that wasn't ethically okay and it could be seen as I'm doing that for views or attention or money when it's just my personal walk. If I have something to give and I can help, even if it's just sitting there and talking to them, I'm going to. And that is not disrupting my peace or my recovery. That is helping me. Which is weird because I get so much more from them than they get from me, you know? Because what can I give? A hug, some socks, Narcan, and I know that that's a big deal. This was explained to me really well. I heard this on Red Table Talk, or like a clip popped up from Red Table Talk on my TikTok, and I thought it was really great and I wanted to share it with you. The difference between a narcissist and a liar is that a liar, when caught with a receipt or a screenshot or evidence that they lied, a liar will back down and say, you caught me, I lied, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, or I lied because of this, like, I'm sorry, like, you're right, I lied, I shouldn't have lied. A narcissist will double down. But are these stories real? Yes. Yes, they are, and I am having such a hard time proving that. I think the only thing I need to be held accountable for was not being sensitive to Amber Heard. And there's no cameras in the bathroom. So they can't prove that you were fighting, but they can prove that you were loud as shit. So I know you really think that you're telling your followers or subscribers that, like, I'm such a liar, but you just said so many wrong things, and you're wrong about so many things. I've never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after another, consecutively, in a row. because I don't feel as though I'm causing harm to the recovery community. I feel like they are causing harm to me and to others that see this going on. And tell you that receipt is fake. Put the blame on you somehow. Oh, you went through my stuff. Oh, you found my stuff. Like, yeah, dude, you're cheating on me. So I went through your stuff because I felt that, because women have an intuition that is built into our bones. We know that we know, you can feel it. So yeah, I went through your shit. And now, if you're arguing with a narcissist about that, they're not going to talk about them cheating on you. They're going to talk about why you went through their phone. My mom, who just finished chemo and radiation, she doesn't need to be harassed. She doesn't need to see her nephew's name on the internet in a really negative way. My uncle doesn't deserve that either. This is not about accountability. This is about tearing me down while you build your own platform up. And it's gross. And when people try to clap back with "that's public," any police report discussing me as a minor, as a child, is not public record. It's not. The reason why it's compounding the abuse is because I feel like I have to find every single thing. I have to find my student loan documents to prove that I actually have a bachelor's degree. Regardless, I feel like I have to dig out every single receipt to prove that I'm not lying. That is the exact same thing that I just got out of dealing with my ex. And I feel like I have to prove myself all the time, which is like literally victim blaming, and that's another form of gaslighting, so it's adding to the abuse. They're not going to talk about why they lied to you about XYZ. It's your fault. You went through the phone. Oh, you got your feelings hurt because you went through my phone. It's like they will do anything, say anything, break anything, do anything to deflect blame. There is an entertainment factor to what I do. I do tell stories. I'm a little bit more dramatic in my storytelling because I'm funny. Trauma. There are inconsistencies in my story. I will not deny that. I will not dispute that. I can watch these videos back, which I never wanted to do, by the way. And I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like you just said that you were bullied over here, but you're talking about 3 different times in your life. Like, I had no idea, and it's probably because I don't watch my videos, or try not to. I had no idea back then that I had ADHD. And I look at it now and I'm like, how the fuck did you not realize that? I can understand why it would seem like I left that out on purpose, like it was malicious, but the fact of it is, even if Jason sent that guy over there to check on him, to annoy him, that doesn't really matter because he had no right to fire a gun at a man walking away.
Jessica and Jason sent someone to the house of an alleged violent, drunken, meth-addicted, unhinged, woman-beating, manipulative, narcissistic criminal who almost strangled Jessica to death. But it doesn't matter if they sent someone under malicious intent because, and I summarize her quote, the violent man shouldn't have reacted violently. If Reece would have hurt or, God forbid, killed that man, they would have blood on their hands, and they sure wouldn't give one fuck about it nor take accountability for it. That antisocial personality disorder is loud as hell.
And by the time you're done with that circle that they have you in, you're so fucking tired. Like, you're so tired. And
I truly believe that this will be my final video on this situation because I'm tapped out, I'm tired, and I really don't have a whole lot else to say.
I have come to a conclusion, and I think that it is time that I move on from the current situation. I know that I've made quite a few videos on Jessica. I've shared pretty much everything that I've had. It's just time. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to try and do something else. I don't want to dwell on all of this. It's literally beating a dead horse at this point, but it's just time for me to stop.
you don't have to tell everyone what you did. You don't have to. You don't have to tell everyone that you're struggling with addiction. You don't have to tell anyone that you relapsed. You have to hold yourself accountable. But if one person is lying and manipulating the community, I don't want you guys to think that the rest of us are, because we're not. We're not. There are so many incredible content creators that have been to prison, that are in long-term recovery, that are amazing and genuine and honest and real and all of the things. And I'm putting a spotlight on this person because I know that she is taking advantage of our community. And there's always going to be the bad apples, bruh. You know what I mean? And we are human beings. We are all human beings, and we're all struggling with different shit, you know? And I just really hope that you don't judge the entire community based on the actions of one. Mindy, I know that you're mad I asked you to leave my house. I know you're mad at making these videos. I really do have your very best interest at heart. And you can make all the videos you want about who I hang out with, who I see, who I sleep next to, and what I do in my spare time. But at the end of the day, what you're doing isn't okay. And it just means you need help. And I hope you get the help that you need. And even though I won't be here for you anymore, I know that there are a lot of people that care about you and that just want to see you happy and thriving and healthy, myself included. And I hope this can be a wake-up call. And the Ride or Die crew is supporting someone in active addiction. When people on the internet are financially supporting someone in active addiction, that person is in danger of being used, manipulated, lied to, taken advantage of. And that is where I draw the line. I have a healthy relationship with cannabis. I take my medication as prescribed. I occasionally drink, and I have a healthy relationship with alcohol now.
Several days later.
What I wasn't honest about is my struggle with alcohol. And I am struggling with alcohol. My last video, I was like, but I can. But you can't. And I will drink occasionally. And saying that after struggling with alcohol last year, people tend to be very caught up in that. If I can have a healthy relationship with alcohol, cannabis, and my doctor prescribed medication, then I think, personally, that I'm in recovery. You can't say that you're sober and take money from this community and have that be a lie. You can't use and manipulate people if I have something to say about it. It's also so much bigger than her and I. And I know it seems like I'm messy right now making the content that I'm making, but abusers have more power when you are silent, and I will not be silenced. That's on some other shit though. So if people are telling you that you're not in recovery because you're taking medication, whether that is a plant or a pill, if they're telling you you're not in recovery and you shouldn't take your medication, then they really don't care if you live or die. So maybe fuck those people a little bit. Take your medication as prescribed by doctors and try your absolute best. I'm telling myself this too. Try your absolute best to not let these people tell you that your recovery is wrong. Addiction is wiping out this generation. So your point here is that that's not sobriety. Stop doing this to people in recovery. If you're so obsessed with that word and gatekeeping the word sober, cool, just keep it to yourself. I don't need that. I don't need this comment. The person that is hateful and angry and bitter and screaming online that that person isn't in recovery, who is really sick here? If you're in recovery, your recovery is yours. It's your journey. It's your pathway. It is not your job to try to hold someone else accountable. And I've always felt that way. In my first year of sobriety, I would see other people like get out of jail and come back, and I'm like, I gotta focus. I'm like, geez, like I wish I had the chance to relapse and have a good time. Why can't you just stop? I don't understand. That was like my baby self, my baby in sobriety. I was also condescending to people in my past. Like, I did it like this. Why can't you just do it like me? Like, because everyone's different. Everyone doesn't have a path. So I waited a long time until I changed my mindset. But I am guilty of judging Suboxone too because I had a bad experience with it. But just because I had a bad experience with
7 years into recovery, she was telling people on medically assisted treatment that they weren't sober. But in her previous statement, she claims she's never tried to hold other people accountable for her recovery and that people doing exactly what she is guilty of should. And I quote, "Well, get fucked." She always said people are sick for telling her she's not sober because she is taking Adderall, smoking weed, and has recently relapsed on alcohol, which she lied about. She gaslights people for believing that someone struggling with alcohol isn't sober. She is so dangerous to the recovery community. Yet she literally said she thinks the recovery community is damaging her.
There is an entertainment factor to what I do. I do tell stories. I'm a little bit more dramatic in my storytelling because I'm funny. Trauma. Do you want to hear a funny story? First of all, I lost my voice. Someone needed a voice. I was like, bitch, here, just take mine. I don't even fucking need it. But yeah. And I own up when I am sick. I lost my voice. Someone needed a voice. I'm like, bitch, I don't even need it. Just take it. I'm such a people pleaser. I am sick and I lost my voice because someone needed a voice. I was like, bitch, take it away. I finally got my first felony at 17 or 16, I don't know, for criminal sales of a controlled substance, and I look like an infant.
She was 16/17 in this mugshot, but her last name is Kent, the last name of the man she married when she was 18.
I have no idea when this picture was taken. I don't know where I was. I look 5. I mean, what in the actual hell? I don't know when it was taken. I don't know what the charges were, but I'm probably a fucking minor. I mean, I'm like literally 5. No, I think I was 16. The eyebrows. parole violation. I feel like this was taken when my bond was revoked. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I bonded out from Fort Smith for 2 weeks. Another PV. I look like I have a black eye, so I was probably fighting someone. Smart, Jessica, real smart. I don't know her. I don't know her. The dark circles. I don't even remember when this happened. I have no idea what this even is. And another PV. Yes, those freckles are real. I was in the sun. I think this is my prison mugshot when I finally got to McPherson. Pills progressed into heroin, heroin progressed to meth. My first felony charge was at 17. We were pulled over, arrested, 2 ounces of dope and a gun, taken to jail, right? We had hotel key cards. They went to my hotel room and they searched everything. So the 15 grams is what I had in my wallet at my motel room. I also had 2 points and some baggies.
She shows a confusing screenshot of the police report as proof. Here is the same report without all the intentional, unnecessary distractions. The police report says the police found meth in Jessica's car. She told the cop it was hers and it was 14 grams he weighed it and it came out to 15.5 grams. So 15.5 grams was found in her car. The cop went to their hotel room where he found 1 gram of meth in Jessica's wallet, along with 2 syringes. 2 ounces is about 72 grams. 15.5 grams was found in her car. 1 gram was found in her wallet. That's 16.5 grams total, not 72 grams or 2 ounces. As she claims, there is zero mention of any other substances found. There is zero mention of 2 ounces or 72 grams found.
I had to kick Mindy Scorpio 2 out of my house. Quick recap, she relapsed in my house. I asked her to leave. I got her an Uber, a hotel, and a flight home, and I made sure she was okay. She then tried to move in with my ex. Okay, messy. There's 2 communities that she's messing with, though, because I would have just taken that shit on the chin and never told you guys about it. But when the Ride or Die crew...
She's manipulating her audience by pretending that she is just looking out for the Ride or Die crew. However, in reality, she's just trying to smear Mindy's name, as you can tell. She uses this manipulation tactic often.
This is Mindy's paperwork. You're going to have to pause to read, but essentially it's saying that Mindy called the task force and said that she can provide information regarding drug trafficking. She gave up customers and suppliers and tried really hard to make sure that no one saw that interaction. But the paperwork that I showed you in the last one is real. It's verified. She did cooperate with the feds. Why am I telling you that? Because it matters. You can't build a brand of authenticity and ride or die and real and I'm not a rat but everyone else is. You can't do that and have it all be a lie.
Per the police report on FEB 23, Jessica told investigators Randy was the one who robbed the store where she worked at. Her deposition was included as an enclosure to the search warrant application.
Well, I'm looking at that statement. And I said, hell no, you're not gonna do this shit to me again. You're not gonna do this to me again. He signed a sworn statement first. He signed a sworn statement first, almost immediately after getting there. And the cops are just hammering me with it, you know? And I'm like, he didn't do that, he didn't do that. He lied on me and said that I orchestrated this entire thing and he was gonna put me in prison. And I was like, hell no, he did that shit. You know, you're gonna sit here and say, I did the shit, fuck you, you did that. Now I'm gonna run and go get high. That's exactly what I did.
The next paragraph reads that later on February 23, Randy was interviewed and told investigators Jessica planned the robbery. The timeline of the police report shows Jessica snitched on Randy before he told the police that she was involved. Regardless of the timeline, she still told the police he was involved. She snitched, he snitched. They snitched on each other. They are both rats. I have obtained exclusive CCTV footage of Jessica and Randy just moments before the robbery.
The paperwork that I showed you in the last one is real. It's verified. She did cooperate with the feds. Why am I telling you that? Because it matters. You can't build a brand of authenticity and ride or die and real and I'm not a rat but everyone else is. You can't do that and have it all be a lie. You can't say that you're sober and take money from this community and have that be a lie. You can't use and manipulate people if I have something to say about it.
In hindsight, she's eating her own words about this entire video. How is that hypocrisy and karma taste, Jessica?
Old me got the motion of discovery to see who snitched on me, and that I would handle that after I got out. The new me wanted to be fucking different, to not think about that shit, and to move on, to retire from that life. I'm 3 weeks into my jail sentence in Arkansas. I did not have a change of heart. I did not have a change of heart until a very long time after this. You know, I was still very much about that life. I was still very much a part of everything that I was doing. You know what I'm trying to say? So I told them to go themselves, and I was taken back to myself because I was under the influence and I'm very confrontational and I wasn't in my right mind. I didn't have the change of heart. Like, the person that you guys see today is not the person that I used to be. I've been in the hole a lot. My 6-month county bid in Arkansas before I went to prison, I spent probably 4 out of the 6 months in Seg, honestly. Well, 3, we'll say 3. Half the time I was in Seg on some kind of disciplinary thing for having contraband or slipping kites to the guys or bringing in McDonald's one time. Sorry. We might have missed lunch, you know, and he said, well, what do you want? And I'm like, I would really love a cheeseburger and a milkshake. So he smiled at me and he said, okay. I saved half of the medium fry that he got me and I put it in my bra. And as soon as we get back into intake, he's waiting for a female to come pat me down, and I hear over the radios that someone had gotten into a fight and all of the officers ran, and the female guard said, you can walk back yourself. And I was like, oh, I just got away with this. I got away with this. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to add in the Chomo thing too, because people were saying that I just like made up this whole thing and I was only charged with, which she shouldn't have this paper, by the way. That came from a CO. It says that my only disciplinaries from ADC was like noise violation, like disrespecting a staff member, and prohibited articles or something. I don't know. But the reason why inmates fight in the bathroom is because there's no cameras in there and all they can prove is we're being loud as shit. That's all they can prove. So it's just infuriating. If you haven't been to prison, then that looks like I'm lying. Anyway, I'm on top of her, I'm fighting her, I'm hitting her in the face, I'm hitting her in the head, she's trying to turn away. Well, she hit me like one time in the jaw and I think like in the chest. And she's trying to turn so that I get off of her. Well, while this is all going on, cops came storming in, and probably because someone snitched, like we're in the bathroom. There's no cameras, you know? So probably someone snitched. This girl, this female officer tried to pull at me to get me off of her, and I didn't know it was a cop. I thought it was just an inmate. So just instinct, I went bam, and I hit the cop kind of in like the chest area or stomach. And, you know, I kind of like did that and went, like I realized like, you just hit the cop. So she backed up and 2 other guards backed up and they sprayed me like in the face. Once we get to Seg, so they take the cuffs off and the other officers leave to go write up their report and all of that, because when there's a disciplinary report or a fight, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done. They have to write me up and give me a copy and it's all this stuff. So one of the cops stayed and he said, I'm glad someone got her. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like choking on this freaking pepper spray and my eyes are burning. Like, it hurts, you guys. It really hurts. It will make you stop doing whatever you're doing. So I'm like, yeah, thanks. Tears streaming down, snot streaming down, like it just burned so bad. And he said, where did you learn to fight like that? And I'm like, I was defending myself. Like immediately I'm like, please just go away. But later, like a few days after I was in Seg, I was like, that was kind of cool. So most tense situations you've been involved in while in prison. Most intense situation. I just have to revert it back to giving birth in prison. That was just intense and traumatic for me. But as far as like fights and stuff like that, I didn't care. If I'm in the fight, I just want to win. And if the fight's going on, I just get out of the way and watch them until they get broken up or pepper sprayed. Just watch the show. It's kind of entertaining, you know, because we're bored. Because we're so bored. So if something's popping off, you know, just back up, get out of the way, let them duke it out, and wait for the cops to come get them. That was really, you know, the most intense things would be like fights breaking out. I did 9 months in county jail, saw 3 chomos come in during my time that all got less time than I did. Have you ever experienced that? Unfortunately, yeah, I have. And it sucks and it's sick and it's ridiculous, but I've seen sex offenders get less time than drug dealers. His story is not mine to share, and I hope that all of this has been said already by him.
I didn't have a bank account.
You know, I remember the day you got a bank account, when they finally let
nobody ever give me a bank account.
Like, I have this money, I'd like to put it in here, and everyone told him no because of his credit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I kind of want to tell them why. So he had a company, and he had to file bankruptcy. It was a trucking company, and it was in the recession when fuel was, you know,
In my opinion, Jessica's antisocial personality disorder is screaming to the top of its lungs in this next video. Pay attention to how Jessica tries to covertly talk shit about Mindy and Reece throughout this entire video, but prefaces each insulting line by adding verbiage that makes it seem like she is saying these things because she cares. She had recently been told she was messy and foul for making TikToks trying to expose Mindy and talking shit about her. So this time she tries to manipulate her audience into thinking her intentions are to help Mindy or show she cares. The craziest part is that she believes she's doing a good job of it, when in reality it's clear as day. Pure fucking delusion.
Any of this. I really fucking don't. Mindy, just because you're sleeping with Reece and getting high with him and having the time of your life in that big, beautiful house that I used to fucking call a home doesn't mean that you're okay. It doesn't mean that you're safe. That man almost killed me. I am not the bitter baby mama. And all this internet shit is just noise. If you call me screaming on the fucking floor because he threw you across the room, or he backs you into a corner, and you need someone to cry with, you need someone to pick you up, I will still be there for you, despite all the shit that you guys are both fucking doing to me. Despite it all. Do you know why? Because no one did that for me. No one picked me up off the fucking floor. He stepped over me. He stepped over me. I am genuinely concerned for you both, even though you're spewing fucking venom on the internet and just, you're so fucking smug about it too. I don't think you understand. I don't think you fucking understand. Maybe it's the drugs. I don't know. That man has cameras all over the fucking place. That man has illegally recorded me and him having sex. That man is not safe to be around. And sure, he seems really fucking great when you're on his team. Give it some time. And even if you want to call me to vent or cry or yell or, I'll still answer the phone. I'll still answer the phone. If you need advice or just someone that fucking understands, I will still be there for you despite all of this fucking shit. I didn't have that. And I always want to be the person that I never had in addiction or otherwise. I'm more scared now for you than ever. I'm not scared for myself. I'm not scared for my kids. There's no one in my home, and you know that because the sex worker was not in my basement. And the second you felt uncomfortable, I got us in an Uber and got us out of there. But when I heard she was there, I had to help her. I couldn't just ignore the fact that she was there. I really don't think you understand who you're dealing with, and he doesn't want custody of my kids. He won't even call them or pay for a sandwich for them. So I don't know what he's telling you, but I really fucking hope that you understand that you are not safe. I hope you both get help. I really do.
Number 10, you will feel broken. When you realize you're dealing with this type of person, you will feel like a fool, having been duped and conned out of your time, your money, your resources, and all kinds of other things. And I don't want to demonize this disorder, but people need to be educated and informed. I mean, the key criteria for this disorder is a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others. So let's not count on them to do the right thing.
That last clip stood out to me because it reminded me of how many people felt when Jessica's lies and true colors were exposed. Her having antisocial personality disorder isn't an excuse. It's just an explanation. An explanation that will hopefully give you peace as she tries to make all her critics seem like they're crazy for seeing straight through her dishonesty and manipulation tactics. I hope Jessica's actions and reactions make more sense after watching this video. It explains why Jessica is the way she is, why many of us feel betrayed, disappointed, and fooled by the person she pretended to be, why we're so exhausted with her lack of accountability and flat-out bullshit. Do you believe Jessica was misdiagnosed, or are the signs written all over her? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Until next time.